Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. This show is made to help you learn and enjoy English. We talk about real life, real conversations, and real experiences, all in simple English that's easy to understand.
Yes, and today's episode is a fun one. I'm going to tell you all about the first time I ate escargot. That's right, snails. It happened when I was visiting France, and it was definitely a day I will never forget.
I've never tried escargot. I can't wait to hear what it was like. Let's get started.
So, I was in a small town in France, staying with a local family I met through a language exchange program. They were super nice, always smiling, always offering food. One night, they told me we were going to a big family dinner at the grandmother's house. I thought, great, more delicious French food.
That sounds exciting already. Did they tell you what was on the menu?
No, they didn't, and I didn't ask. I was just happy to be invited. The grandmother lived in a beautiful old house with a garden full of flowers. The table was set outside under the trees, and it looked so cozy, like a movie.
That's such a lovely image. I can imagine it now. Wooden chairs, fairy lights maybe?
Exactly. Everyone sat down, and we started with some bread, cheese, and wine. I felt so comfortable. People were talking and laughing. I was trying my best to speak French, but sometimes I just smiled and nodded.
That's what I do too when I don't understand everything. Smile and hope for the best.
Yes. Then, suddenly, the grandmother came out of the kitchen carrying a big tray. On it were small plates, each with 6 little brown things on them. They were shiny, and I could smell garlic and butter. I looked closer, and then I knew. They were escargots.
What did you do? Were you scared?
I froze for a second. My heart started beating fast. I thought, oh no, I don't want to be rude, but can I really eat a snail? I looked around and everyone was smiling, ready to dig in. The grandmother gave me a plate and said, "Tu vas aimer ça. You're going to like this." I smiled and said, "Merci."
You are so brave. I don't know what I would have done.
I didn't want to be the only one not trying, so I watched how the others did it. There was a small fork. They used it to pull the snail out of the shell. It didn't look terrible, kind of like a mushroom, but chewier. I took a deep breath, picked one up, and put it in my mouth.
Okay, and?
Surprise! It wasn't bad. It tasted like garlic and herbs. The texture was a little strange, but the flavor was actually really good. I ate one, then another, and finally finished all 6.
Wow, that's amazing. You went from scared to snail fan in one meal.
Not quite a fan yet, but I was proud of myself. Everyone clapped and smiled. The grandmother patted my shoulder and said, "Bravo."
That's a great story, and it shows that trying new things, especially food, can be scary but also fun and surprising.
Absolutely. I would have missed out on a great experience if I had said no. And I think trying new foods in other countries is a great way to connect with people and learn the culture.
So, Emma, after you finished eating the escargot and surprised yourself, what happened next? Did people start asking you questions?
Yes, they did. It was like I passed a test or something. One of the cousins leaned over and asked, "So, was it really your first time?" I told him yes, and he laughed and said, "Well then, welcome to France." After that, people were very curious. They wanted to know what kinds of food we eat at home in England and if we have anything similar.
That's such a nice way to connect. Did you tell them about things like baked beans and toast?
I did. I talked about our breakfast like beans, eggs, sausages. They were so surprised. One person said, "Beans for breakfast?" I laughed and said, "Yes, and we love it." We had fun comparing foods and sharing our favorites. One girl says she wanted to try fish and chips one day.
Did you feel more comfortable after that?
A lot more. At the beginning of the night, I was shy. I didn't know how much French I could understand or speak. But after the escargot moment, I relaxed. I didn't worry about making small mistakes. People were patient and friendly, and that helped me talk more. Even if I didn't have the perfect words, I used simple sentences. They smiled and answered kindly.
That's such an important thing for our listeners to hear. You don't need to speak perfectly to have a good time or to connect with people.
Exactly. One of the best parts was when the grandmother sat next to me and asked about my family. I told her, in French, that I have one brother and that my parents love cooking too. She told me about her children and even showed me a photo of her when she was young. I didn't understand every word, but I understood enough.
It sounds like that evening was more than just a meal. It was a real cultural exchange.
Yes, and all because I said yes to escargot. That one small moment opened the door to a big, warm, and beautiful night.
Sometimes food really is the best way to bring people together.
I think so too. You sit around a table, you eat, you talk, you laugh, even if the language is different. That's something really special.
So, Emma, after such a big night, eating escargot, speaking French, meeting the whole family, how did you feel the next morning?
Honestly, I felt really happy. I woke up and just lay in bed for a few minutes thinking about everything. The dinner, the laughter, the stories. I couldn't stop smiling. I felt proud because I had tried something new, something I thought I could never do. And I felt more confident about my French too.
That's a great feeling. I know that when I do something scary but good, I feel stronger the next day.
Yes, I went down to the kitchen for breakfast. The family was already there, drinking coffee and eating toast with butter and jam. They greeted me with big smiles. Camille's little brother even asked me, Tu veux encore des escargots pour le petit déjeuner? Do you want more snails for breakfast? And we all laughed so hard.
That's so funny. He sounds cheeky.
He was. And after breakfast, Camille and I went for a walk in the village. The streets were quiet and peaceful. We passed a bakery and the smell of fresh bread was everywhere. We talked about the dinner and the people I met. Camille said, My grandma really liked you. She said you are brave and polite.
That made me feel so good inside.
That's such a kind thing to hear, especially in a new country where you're still learning the language.
It really meant a lot. I told her that I was nervous at first, but everyone was so kind. She said, You were just being yourself. That's the best way. And I think she's right. When we try new things with an open heart, even if we make mistakes, it makes a difference.
And that's why I love your stories, Emma. They show that learning a language is not only about grammar or vocabulary. It's about living, trying, and connecting.
Yes, and sometimes it's about saying yes to something small, like a snail on a plate, and seeing where that yes takes you. So, Emma, did you tell your friends or family back home about eating escargot? I bet they were surprised.
Oh, yes, I told everyone. The same night, I sent a picture of the plate to my best friend. She replied right away with just one word, "Why?" and a lot of emojis. The next day, I called my mom and told her the full story. She laughed and said, "You're braver than I am."
That's such a fun reaction. I can imagine your mom making a funny face.
She did, but she also said she was proud of me. She knows I used to be a picky eater when I was younger, so trying something like escargot really showed her how much I've changed. She even said, maybe I'll try it one day too, but only if you cook it.
Now that's a challenge. Have you thought about learning how to cook them?
Actually, I have. The family I stayed with showed me a little bit about how they prepare them. They clean the snails, then cook them with butter, garlic, and parsley. It smells amazing. I didn't help that time, but I watched closely. One day, I want to try it myself.
I think that's awesome. It's one thing to taste new food, but learning how to cook it, that's a whole new level.
Exactly. I think food is a beautiful way to connect with a culture. It's not just about taste. It's about history, tradition, and family. Sitting at that table, eating something I never imagined I'd eat, I felt like I was part of something special. It wasn't just dinner. It was a memory I'll keep forever.
That really shows how important it is to say yes sometimes, even when you're nervous or unsure. Saying yes opens doors to food, to people, to experiences you might never expect.
So true. And I think for people learning English or any language, that's good advice too. Say yes to speaking, even if your sentence isn't perfect. Say yes to listening, to trying, to being open. You never know what great moment is waiting on the other side.
Emma, now that time has passed, do you still think about that dinner? Has it changed how you travel or how you try new things?
Yes, I think about it often. That night taught me something important. I learned that when we open our minds, we also open our hearts. Before that trip, I like to plan everything and stay in my comfort zone. But after that dinner, I realized it's okay to be surprised, to try new things, and even to feel a little nervous.
I love that. Sometimes the best moments come from things we don't expect.
Exactly. And now, when I travel, I say yes more often. I try local dishes, I ask questions, I talk to strangers, even if my language skills aren't perfect. That one dinner helped me become more curious and more brave.
It's amazing how one small moment, just trying a new food, can grow into something much bigger. It's like a seed that grows into a tree of confidence.
That's a beautiful way to say it, Leon. And I hope our listeners feel inspired too. Maybe you won't eat escargot tomorrow, but maybe you'll try something new. Maybe you'll speak English with someone, or join a new group, or travel somewhere different. Every small step matters.
Yes, even if it's just learning a new word today or saying hello to someone in English, those little things add up, and we're here to help you every step of the way.
You're not alone on this journey. We're learning and growing together, one story at a time.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed Emma's story and maybe feel a bit braver now.
If you liked this episode, don't forget to follow our podcast. New episodes come out every week with real stories, easy English, and lots of fun.
And if you want to practice even more, try talking about this episode with a friend. What would you do if someone gave you escargot?
Would you eat it or run away? Let us know. And until next time,
Both, keep learning, keep trying, and keep smiling. Bye for now.